So, someone likes you. Maybe you saw it coming, or maybe it completely blindsided you. Maybe it's obvious. They flirt, they find excuses to be around you, and their body language practically screams it. Or maybe it's more subtle, an extra long glance, a shift in tone when they talk to you, or the way they seem just a little too interested in your life. And now that you know, you feel something shift inside you. There's a weird thing that happens when we realize someone is interested in us. Even if we never considered them before, even if we weren't attracted to them at all, suddenly we start seeing them differently. It's almost like our brain flips a switch. They like me? Do I like them back? This isn't random. It's psychology at work. Welcome back to PsychBytes, your go-to space for unraveling the psychology behind attraction, relationships, and human behavior. If you love diving into the science of how we think, feel, and connect, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a deep dive into the fascinating world of psychology. Now, here's a fun question for you. Have you ever realized someone liked you and it completely changed how you saw them? Did it make them more attractive, or did it make things awkward? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how your mind processed it. When we find out someone is interested in us, our brain immediately starts evaluating them differently. This is because of a psychological principle called reciprocity of attraction, a concept in social psychology that suggests that we're naturally inclined to be drawn to people who like us. In fact, studies show that just knowing someone finds us attractive can increase our attraction toward them. It's the same reason why someone you never noticed before can suddenly seem more interesting the moment you realize they've been looking at you differently. But here's where it gets tricky. How you respond depends on how you feel about them. And sometimes that's more complicated than just a simple yes or no. Maybe you like them back, but you're nervous about where it could lead. Maybe you're unsure and you don't know whether to encourage it or let them down gently. Or maybe you don't like them back, but you feel guilty rejecting them, especially if they're a good person. So what happens in your brain the moment you realize someone likes you? First, your dopamine levels rise. This is the brain's reward chemical, and it's released whenever we experience something that boosts our self-worth. Finding out someone likes you? That's a massive ego boost. It makes you feel desirable, validated, and, at least for a moment, wanted. This is why people sometimes feel a little giddy or flustered when they realize they have an admirer. Even if you don't return their feelings, the fact that someone sees you in that light activates the part of your brain associated with pleasure and excitement. But then another part of your brain kicks in, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for rational thinking and decision-making. This is when you start asking yourself questions. Do I feel the same way? Could I see this going anywhere? How does this change things between us? Your brain starts analyzing the situation, weighing past experiences, and predicting possible outcomes. If you like them back, your heart rate might increase. Your body releases a little more oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and you might even feel a warm, nervous excitement around them. But if you don't feel the same way, something else happens. Your brain shifts into a conflict resolution mode, trying to figure out how to let them down without hurting their feelings. And that's where the real challenge begins. Because rejecting someone, especially someone who genuinely likes you, is uncomfortable. A study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that most people experience a stress response when they have to reject someone, even when they have no romantic interest in them. This happens because our brains are wired for social harmony. We don't like causing discomfort in others, even if it's necessary. This is why some people panic and try to avoid the conversation altogether. They don't want to hurt the person, so they delay, send mixed signals, or try to let them down in the most gentle way possible. But here's the problem. When you don't communicate clearly, you create false hope. And that's far worse than just telling the truth. If you're in this situation and you don't feel the same way, the best thing you can do is be kind but clear. A simple, direct response like, "I really appreciate your feelings and I value our connection, but I don't see us in a romantic way," is better than dragging things out or pretending to be unsure when you already know your answer. It might feel awkward in the moment, But in the long run, honesty is always the kinder option. But what if you do like them back? Well, then things get interesting. Once you acknowledge that you share their feelings, your brain starts releasing even more dopamine and oxytocin, deepening the sense of excitement and connection. At this stage, your body is physically responding to the emotional shift. You might notice that you're smiling more when you see them, mirroring their body language without realizing it, or feeling an automatic pull toward them. At this point, one of two things happens. Either you embrace the attraction and let things unfold naturally, or you hold yourself back out of fear. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. Because even when the feelings are mutual, fear of vulnerability, past heartbreaks, or self-doubt can make us hesitate. This is why some people start acting distant, even when they actually like the person back. Their subconscious is trying to protect them from getting hurt, so they put up a small emotional barrier. Maybe they delay texting back. Maybe they act a little indifferent, as if to test whether the other person will keep pursuing them. This is something psychologists call uncertainty avoidance. When we hesitate in relationships because we're unsure of what will happen next, so we try to control the outcome by playing it cool. But here's what's important to understand. Attraction is delicate in its early stages. It needs momentum to build. If you genuinely like someone but hold back too much, you might unintentionally signal that you're not interested, causing them to pull away or second-guess their own feelings. This is why being authentic and responsive in the early stages of attraction is so important. If you want things to develop naturally, one of the best things you can do is mirror their energy. If they make an effort, show appreciation. If they initiate conversations, reciprocate. If they take the first step, meet them halfway. Attraction isn't about playing games. It's about creating an emotional space where both people feel safe to express their interest without fear of rejection or overcomplication. Now, of course, not every situation is clear-cut. Sometimes you might feel drawn to someone but unsure about whether to act on it. Maybe you need more time to figure out how you feel. Maybe you like them, but certain circumstances make you hesitant. Friendship history, different life goals, or past experiences that make you cautious. In these cases, the best approach is self-awareness. Ask yourself, am I interested in them, or am I just responding to their interest in me? There's a difference between being truly attracted to someone and simply liking the attention they give you. If it's the latter, it's better to acknowledge that now, rather than leading them on. At the end of the day, realizing someone likes you is a moment of power, because now you hold a choice. Do you explore this connection and see where it leads? Do you acknowledge their feelings but remain true to your own boundaries? Do you let fear hold you back? Or do you allow yourself to embrace the possibility of something new? Whatever you decide, just remember, attraction isn't about playing games, overthinking every response, or getting stuck in endless what-ifs. It's about being present, honest, and willing to let connections unfold naturally. And if you're wondering whether someone might secretly have a crush on you, but they're just not saying it out loud, you need to check out our video on 6 science-backed signs someone has a secret crush on you. Because sometimes attraction is written all over their body language, voice, and subconscious behaviors. You just have to know what to look for. Click to watch now, and don't forget to subscribe to PsychBytes for more deep dives into psychology, attraction, and relationships. See you in the next one.